Did you know that 70% of startup businesses in Kenya die within the first 5 years of being founded?
I think 5 years is too long. I think it's 3 years.
To anyone listening, what is the one thing that you want them to learn even before we get into the conversation?
As long as they get their basics right of building a business, their why is right, they have the vision right, the mission is right, they have the right team. As long as the basics are covered, they're on to greatness. I want someone who's burnt their fingers and they've rebounced back and they actually say, I want to do this. Just surround yourself with good friends or people that will always, check in on you.
What's up, lovely human beings? Welcome to another episode of Cloud Stories Africa. Now, today's conversation is all about business. And the one takeaway that I want you guys to get, it's all about building that long-term vision. It's not just about your battle strategy, it's also about your war strategy. The long-term vision, the plans and the strategies that allow you to grow and scale your business. Now, with me on the show today is an amazing guest. Mary, karibu sana. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling today?
Amazing.
You're feeling good?
Breathe entrepreneurship, so I think I'm in the right space.
Okay, so let me start with a quick fire round question. Did you know that 70% of startup businesses in Kenya die within the first 5 years of being founded?
I think 5 years is too long. I think it's 3 years.
5 is too long.
5 is too long.
5 is too long. So then what differentiates the startups that live beyond the 3 years, beyond the 5 years, from all other startup companies?
They know what their clients want or their customers, what they want, and they build for them. They don't build from their own assumptions, from their own mind, from their own feelings. So they go on the ground, they understand their customers, and they build for them. And as long as you're already solving a critical need for your clients, you'll always win.
You'll always win, as long as the why is there.
The why, who are you building for? What are you solving? Is it big enough to solve?
Yes.
As long as you're doing that, you're on the right path.
All right. I love that. I love that as a conversational starter. And so let's get right into anyone listening today, anyone that has a business. From today's episode, from listening to you, what is the one thing that is going to change for them? What is the one lesson, even before we start? So this is something that I'm borrowing from Mel Robbins, whereby she always ambushes the guest with a question of, to anyone listening, what is the one thing that you want them to learn even before we get into the conversation that is going to be a game changer for them?
I think as long as they get their basics right of building a business, their why is right, they have the vision right, the mission is right, they have the right team. As long as the basics are covered, they're on to greatness.
They're on to greatness.
So we'll talk about what are these basics and how do you get yourself to become the 1% of the businesses that actually survive.
Okay, so let's start with leadership, because at the core of every startup business is a founder. And most of the time when businesses are starting out, you either start as a solo founder or you have a partner, or at most, it's just you being your sales manager, your finance lead, you are your marketing lead. What is the mindset that differentiates winning founders?
I don't know if you're talking about me because I'm a solo founder, but oh well.
All right, tell us the story.
I think one thing that becomes a game changer is learning what are my strengths, what can I do, and what can't I do. And when you realize what you can do, outsource what you can't do. Otherwise, you can't be everything. You're going to have burnout. And then also, you need also to have someone you can always bounce your ideas to, because you can't be the know of everything in this universe.
Yeah.
And then also something else that I say, surround yourself with an advisory board of friends that you can always bounce your ideas to. Because you can't just build in your bedroom and launch in your bedroom. Your customers, you acquire them through AI. That can't work.
Yeah.
Have a group of people that are going to validate your product, are going to validate what you're actually doing. And sometimes you have to make some tough decisions.
Okay.
What I do is I talk to a lot of friends. I have people who I know. If I ask them, they will not even sugarcoat. They'll tell me as it is. They're like, you can go and hang yourself, but this is what it is.
This is
what it actually means. And we are starting out, when we started out our business, actually, the first time when we started doing Fractional CFO, my one serious... I don't know, I think my one big client that I onboarded, they're like, you're doing so great, but I don't think you're really solving the problems that you're actually having.
Okay.
You like, you know what's the problem and the solution.
Yeah.
But given your strengths, you are not the fixer. You can oversee the fixer.
Yeah.
But you need to figure out who's this other person that you will continue working with to be the person who executes and you oversee. Then the results are going to speak for themselves. So at that point, I started realizing my A game is more in boardroom advisory. Yeah. But I'm able to mentor someone else to do the actual work. Yeah. And both of us combined, you're going to have a success story.
A success story.
So know your strengths.
Know your strengths.
And know
now,
what to outsource.
I love what you said about knowing your strength, and allow me to jump in with a question around how do you differentiate between your strengths and your willingness to learn? And let me explain that. As a founder, when you're starting out, it's about how do I market this business? How do I innovate the products? How do I do the operations? How do you differentiate between these are my strength, or this is what I can learn and become strong at, versus this is what I need to delegate, or this is what I need to bring in a different team member to do? Because that question also speaks to self-awareness. It also speaks to self-awareness. Maybe I went to school, I did finance, and so I can be a good finance lead for the team. You get the question? Maybe for you, it was, I love interacting with people. I sit well when I'm telling the board what the company is doing. And so how do you differentiate between these are the true strengths, and this is what I should genuinely outsource? And let me also give an example with myself. At the podcast, I was like, editing is not my thing. But then on the other hand, I don't like social media management, but I am willing to do social media management for the podcast and outsource the editing bit. And so what is the differentiation between these two?
Why learn when we have experts who can do it for me and they know it all? Why do you want to become an amateur at something that I can actually outsource and get the best results? Because you realize when you start learning, it's time that you should have put in the business to distribute to your clients. Yeah. For you as the founder, when you're starting your business, I think the key thing that you should always love or fall in love with is your clients. Yeah. There's nothing else you're doing if your clients are not happy, your customer experience is not excellent, you're not delivering the results that you said. And you should spend like 90% of your time trying to figure that bit, because that's the heartbeat of the business. Yes. By the time you come to finance and marketing and all these things, you must have already identified your ideal client. What do they like? Who are they buying from? Yeah. Why are they going to come to me? What does growth look like for me? Where will I be in 5 years? Yeah. What kind of team skill set do I actually want? How do I build my KPI? How do I build the business? Yeah. That's the core thing. Okay. And most of the time you realize, if I'm a finance person, I'll tend of mganga hajigangi. You can't just do things just because you think you went to school and learned them. And you've learned them. Exactly. So you will realize, for me, I'm a natural leader. Yeah. So I'm more likely going to be the CEO, but maybe I will fail in operations. I will fail in, meeting the deadlines or sending our proposals in good time and doing those admin stuff. Yes. I can learn, but at what cost? At what cost? So for me, I look at the best value for money or for my time. So if I'm able to save so much time and I have so much time in my hands, I'd rather have time than have the money. Exactly. Okay, I love that. And I love the fact that you said just because you've maybe gone to school and learned something, or just because you think you are good at something, doesn't necessarily mean that you should project that into the business. Then let me now move to a second concept, which is creating systems, and tie it to this first conversation, because for you to hire, for you to move to the next stage, money is a scarce resource for startup businesses. And so how do you balance these resources to get the best outcome? How do you create a system that wins the game for you? First laugh, because that's very much interesting. Yeah. And I think, first of all, I'll go back to the basics. So we are finding a lot of, after you finish campus, there's no work, you need to start a business. And the real motivation is either I'll go to an accelerator and get my 100,000 check and then it can start me off. Yeah. Or I'm going to apply for grants, I will learn how to apply and then I get that money. Or I'll figure it out, right? Yes. And there's someone else who says, let me try and get some work, let me get the experience, and through the money that I'm getting, build my business. Yeah. Those are two different people, two different motivations, and they will have two different pathways. For me, I'm just talking about my experience. I'd rather someone who goes out there to get the experience, because once you go out and you're taught by leaders or people who've been there, you'll have an upper hand of understanding how the ecosystem works, how the world works, how business works, what is entrepreneurship and things like that. And then you're able to gauge yourself and say, am I even actually made to be an entrepreneur? Maybe you're just going there because the motivation is not right.
Yeah.
And that's why you find a lot of people after 3 years, they're off. And for me, actually, when I started now running my advisory, I don't do anyone who's still in ideation, who's still pre-revenue. I want someone who's burnt their fingers and they've rebounced back and they actually say, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Because at that point, they've actually made their mind that they actually want to build this business.
Yes, correct.
So money is not scarce. I think it's just how we look for that money. Because you can build it from your savings, you can build it from, working, but then also is money the only thing that is going to build a business?
No.
Exactly, no. So one of the things that I actually did when I started this, of course, I was still working, but I was like, what can I use that I can still afford?
Yeah.
The first systems I put is communication workflows and processes, onboarding and things like that, and creating customer success, let's say like metrics.
Yes.
So for me, I'm a Microsoft lover, so I use their tools.
Yeah.
So it means I have a project management tool. It means I'm logging in all my tasks. I'm logging in what our clients want, and then I'm following through to see nothing is falling off the crack.
Yeah.
Because if something falls off the crack, it means we are not solving anything. And at the end of the month, we'll be asked, what value did you actually create for us?
Yeah.
How are we going to get it?
Yeah.
And then also all our communication, there's no communication that we have that is on WhatsApp. Communication is through Slack or Teams.
Or emails.
Or emails.
Yeah.
Please, your WhatsApp is for your own personal things, unless it's very, very urgent.
Yes.
So streamlining that workflow means even if someone leaves, this continuity, the knowledge is stored in a central place, we can all access our clients' files in one place.
Yeah.
And then also building us, what are we actually seeing? What are these traits are we seeing our clients having, and how do we start systemizing some of these things?
Yeah.
The first thing we did for us is like automating our onboarding. It's very standard.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to expect. It's nothing more, it's nothing less.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not there, someone else will just come and pick it.
Yeah.
We know our billing cycle, our collection cycle.
Yes.
We know even how we deliver things.
Yeah.
We have like a reporting tool, we have the tools. Like there's those things, and sometimes it's not about even money. It's also understanding what does your business needs. And how can you even take advantage? We see like HubSpot, they're giving like 12 months for free to go and start using their tools. So it means you can enjoy some of these things without even actually
spending a coin on them. You can build working systems without necessarily having to pay money for it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then also when it comes to hiring, for me, I didn't hire until I had my paying client. Because where am I going to get that
Where
money?
will you get the money from?
Exactly.
Okay.
So it is like, so if you build that, go look for your clients. Once you start seeing their money, start having your first hire.
Yeah.
Because if they can take as much from me, it means I will have time.
Yeah.
I will have time to build. I will have time to grow. I will have time to look for more clients.
Yeah.
So I think it's a mindset, and then we dump ourselves, or we say we are overwhelmed. There are all these things that I need to build. We just need simple, progressive systems that are just going to take you from 0 to 1.
From 0 to 1. I love that, from 0 to 1. Let me take you a step back. When you used to balance between your day job and your business, how did you manage that? Was it 5 hours in the job, 3 hours in your business? Because, for most people, and again, I tie this to the question of resources, because most people need a way to generate this money. Most people need a way to come up with the funds. And so how do you balance that, especially for someone? And again, let me go to the conversation about entrepreneurship and reference something that just Ivy said. Let's stop glorifying entrepreneurship. It's meant for some people and it's not meant for other people. Absolutely. There are people in well-paying corporate jobs that are making their millions. True. Their bonuses come in millions at the end of every year. And so for you who's chosen to go in, get the experience, learn from the industry, because these are skills that no one can take from you. If you go in and you become a marketer and you're very aggressive, you actually go, at the end of the day, what is your goal? I want to go into entrepreneurship. And so even though you're working in marketing, you actually go talk to the finance guys, talk to the IT guys, you're talking to the salespeople, because you want to gain all these skills. And so how do you balance between having what is at the moment a side hustle versus your day job?
I think for me, what worked at that point, I used to leave work at like 4 p.m. So it means I'll have time. And all my clients' meeting will be like at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
after 4 p.m. But then also I'm a night owl. My energy, I think, from around 5 till 9 or 10 p.m. is when I'm mostly active.
Yeah.
So it means that's when I'm doing a lot of research, that's when I'm learning, that's when I'm trying to figure out, so what do I actually do? But I think one thing I didn't do so well, I was not so much interested, not really interested. I didn't so much go aggressively to look for clients. It got to a point, so I'll just have clients coming to me, or it's through referrals. That's how I've always acquired a client.
Yeah.
So I was like, can I first test this? Because before going out there blasting, and then I have all these people, I don't know how it's going to be. So I think at some point I was like scared of success.
Yeah.
So it's like, I read a lot. I research a lot. What are other people doing? Where is this one working? US or in South Africa?
Yeah.
What are they doing? How can we do it better? The concept is in Kenya. So there's a lot of education that needs to go into this segment. So and then also putting myself out there in a lot of these conferences, also interact with people, because my focus is how can I align all what I'm trying to help my clients with where the capital is.
Yes.
So if I don't know what the VCs are, what they talk about and all these things, there's no way I'm going to help a client.
Yeah.
And then for me, I was like, I'm never going to advise a founder if I've never built a business.
Oh, wow.
That's the only way I'll understand what it means to run out of money, to have team issues and all those things.
Yeah.
So I've already gone through that experience. I'm able to advise someone what actually worked for me, and also what has also worked for my other clients.
Yeah.
So for me was to get practical
knowledge
from doing it, and then I can advise you, please don't do
this is what to do.
My fingers.
Yeah,
exactly,
because otherwise then it's very theoretical.
And it's very theoretical. I can never take any advice from anyone who's not doing better than me in my business.
Yeah,
because they've not been through the trenches I've been through. You can't watch enough podcasts to come and advise me.
Yeah,
I want to see if you've built it and failed and risen up.
That's credibility.
Exactly,
it's credibility. All right, so then let's talk about confidence, because one of the things that you've said is you were scared for that success or for that level of growth. And sometimes it's not just about fear, because two sides to these questions. There is one where you grow your business slowly by slowly to ensure that it does not explode and overwhelm you. Because that is one side of the coin, whereby your product is great, your service is great, hits the market, takes off, and now you really want to expand without having the right systems to allow your business to take it in. And there's also the other side of, I'm being cautious about this because let me not talk to confidence, because by virtue of you starting something, you're already confident enough. But how do you build that additional grit that allows you to say that now I can move from one client to two clients? How did you build that confidence to say that, okay, Mary, it's now time for me to come from 2 clients to 3 clients. It's time for me to expand into this market. It's time for me to look at this kind of startups, from just maybe 1 version to 2 versions to 3 versions. What gave you the confidence to do that?
I think for me, I'm always testing my systems. And if they break, I'm like, I'm weak at this. And I think for the last 3 years, I'm always testing my systems. And the latest one being, can my team actually handle the business when I'm not there? I did that for 3 weeks. I was like, you guys, if you want to close the business, just close. But I'm trying to see, do I even have any system that can retain clients?
Yeah.
That, so I'm always testing and seeing. Because every other month, we are having feedback from clients. So if you're having a problem over and over again, and the same problem, so why should I bring another client to come and experience the same? I'm like, no, wait. We better fix this before we get to the next
Before
client.
we get to the next
And
client.
the latest lesson that I learned for me was the team. The team is as strong as what drives them, what's their vision, what makes them wake up every morning. If someone is just motivated by a paycheck, I'm like, I don't think you're the right fit for me.
Yeah.
But if you have your inner drive and there's something bigger that you're looking out for apart from just working for me, I think you're a fit for me.
Yeah.
So that's my next goal, is to build an A-class team, because I don't believe in average. I believe in A-class.
Yeah.
And if we can have A-class people working for an A-class vision, we are going to help so many clients, and they're going to be happy with our results, and they're also going to grow.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm never rushing to get to the next clients, because I don't think that's so much of a problem while it is.
Yeah.
But do you have systems that are strong enough to handle 1 to 10 clients?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you launch and then tomorrow you failed back to 0.
Yeah.
We are not doing that. Let's build a solid. I'd rather learn now with 10 clients than break when I have 100 clients.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So then allow me to ask, in terms of the team, how do you test it out? Because delegation is one of the weakest points for startup founders and even for myself, because again, I had shared this with you when we were catching up right before the episode, when I decided, fine, it's time for me to finally delegate social media management. The question was, will this person put in as much effort as I would have put in? And so when you're testing these systems, it also speaks to you, the trust of you as a founder. And so how do you test it out? Is it by you go talk to this client and have the confidence that I'm going to allow them, let them go make a mistake? If the client comes back and says, Mary, there's no business tomorrow, then you're okay with that? Or how exactly do you test these systems to ensure that you still have a business tomorrow? And let me give a context for this particular question. A few weeks ago, my friend and I were doing an event, and, we decided to let the team run with it. And for me, my biggest fear was, at the end of the day, it's my name on the line. It's my business on the line. Can I truly trust enough for me to let go completely and allow them to make the mistakes? And how do I differentiate terminal mistake from a learning mistake? Because also give people the opportunity to try things and fail. And so how do you balance that?
I think that's very tricky.
Yeah.
And one thing is, so I've also learned, differentiate there's you and there's the business.
Yeah.
There's you as a person. You could have all the integrities and everything, in place. But there's also the business, the people you have, because the business is not you as a person. There are a lot of things that go into that. So I was okay losing my clients. I was like, this will be the greatest lesson that there's something actually super wrong with what you're actually delivering. And if you don't fix it, we're not going to make it. And one of the lessons that I've actually picked recently is, I don't think we have a problem, and I'm speaking just specifically on the niche that I operate in. I don't think we have a problem with doing fractional CFO work, but we have very many lazy finance people. They're just comfortable doing double entry work or just doing average, and they're not even connecting business and numbers.
Business. Oh, okay.
So one of the things that I'm cautiously going to start doing is not only, because building a mindset of someone who understands both numbers and business and be able to drive change or strategy, I'm going to be doing a lot of mentoring of in-house finance teams, because once we empower them, it means they can be able to take the business to the next level.
Yeah.
Because what we are doing in most of the assignments, we are finding immediately we learn in the first month, the finance people have left. Yeah. Because you're rendering their jobs, redundant. It's like they don't understand. Yeah. But also, they've never had anyone speak finance and business in the same room, in the same conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe the problem we are having is not even people affording, fractional CFOs, but how can we also empower the in-house finance people to start speaking that language and to empower or to make an impact with where they are?
Yeah.
Because I do not want to render anyone jobless.
Yes.
I want to strengthen them so that by the time they leave that organization, by the time they start looking for their next ventures, they can actually go and make greater impact. They will be like better people and things like that. Yeah. And I'm not talking about theory. Go do this course or listen to all these videos. No, it's practical work.
Practical.
We have a board meeting coming up. Can we all sit, prepare, present?
Yes. Yeah. No, I love that, because when I used to work in finance, it's one of the key things that I really tried to bring forth, tying the business to the finance, because, even for big entities, marketing, sales, they're always fighting with finance people because it's all about the numbers. But then when finance took the time to take them through, this is how your sales budget affects the bottom line P&L, this is how your marketing budget cuts into the margins of the business. Now, you get that wider scope of, it's not just about the operations, it's about tying the operations to the bigger business. So that speaks to problem solving from any role, strategically thinking, even when you're working in operations, when it comes to finance and something is not working, it's not just your job to key in the numbers, it's also about asking the question, okay, fine, I can see a dip in our margins. How do I help the bigger business to fix that? So that speaks to empowering the team.
Correct.
Okay. So then let's now move to, I love the fact that we brought up this finance discussion, because my next question goes towards financial discipline. Goes towards financial discipline. And I'm going to take this from the bigger scope, because I don't want this conversation to just be about the money that we get from capital injections like VC capital. I don't want it to just be one type of finance, because there are many avenues that a business can use to generate revenue. You can increase your volumes, you can increase your value, but then what speaks to the bigger business is your financial discipline. And so how do we create that financial discipline in startup businesses? Because, as a founder, today we start making $1 million and I decide, Melvin,
I'm in Miami tomorrow, please.
Yes. I am in Miami. I am buying a house. Guys, it is time for me to get a private jet. So how do we build that financial discipline for startup businesses that allows them to live through their financial runway?
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So first of all, you cannot budget for something you've never handled before. Mm-hmm. So if you give $1 million to someone who's never made $1 million in their revenues, what are they going to do with it? Mm-hmm. Like, there's a lot of money, and yet it's not even a lot of money.
Yeah.
So financial discipline, sometimes it comes from having just internal controls and people who are holding everyone accountable.
Okay.
So that is doing budget and sticking to them, mm-hmm. and ensuring like every other month you're actually checking your budget and your versus your actuals and the variances, and analyzing what actually did we do, mm-hmm. that went wrong. And then also, mm-hmm. put yourself into the test of, I'm going to have people hold me accountable even if I'm the owner. Yeah. So it means I'll have an advisory board, mm-hmm. that every other month or every other quarter I will, mm-hmm. report to, mm-hmm. and tell them what I did with all the money that I got.
Yeah.
So it means I need to put myself out there. It's like a challenge to how well can I build and manage a business. Otherwise, mm-hmm. on your own you can't. Even you realize if you get handed 1,000 now, you're like, iPhone 17 is out there, I need to buy this.
Yes.
Even on your own you can't even make it.
Yeah.
So you just need an accountability system, mm-hmm. and just sticking true to it and making a decision that I'm actually, because if you want to build a business, you can't build it when you're blowing up the money. Mm. You must be content. Pay yourself enough so that you don't keep on dipping in the business. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it will just be another story of we're always having money, we don't know where the money is going, but you will realize the money is just going to non-essential things. Yeah. Or things that you think are essential, but they're just essential in your head, but not into the business. So there's no strategy document, there's nothing you're following through. You just, tuamke, if we make money, good. If we don't, well, if it comes, let's go and have parties, have bigger offices, hire more people, we want to be seen, we want to be known, and all these things. But then it also takes time to build that. Yeah. And you can't do that. First-time founders, they will always make this mistake. They will always do that, like you want to be seen, bigger offices and all this, and they fail. Second-time founders know better. Third-time founders, seasoned.
They're already cautious about it.
And that's why actually people are investing on second-time founders and third-time founders than first-time founders. Because I'm like, go and make the mistakes, first fail. Yeah. Let's see if you're going to pick yourself up.
If you're going to... Okay, so let me take you back one statement. At what point do you build these systems? Is it...
From when you're starting.
Not when you get the money.
No. When you get the money, that's a whole... Money changes people. Yes. Actually, money just exposes who you are. Yeah. So you need to have those systems from day one. From day one.
And account for the fact that, yes, the business might not have money today, but if the business gets money tomorrow, these are the plans that we have. My dad tells me one thing. When someone wins the jackpot, it's very hard for them to ever put this money into good use. And it's because they're not used to handling that level of money.
Let me tell you, today I was sitting with one of my friends who's a professor. Yeah. And he's made good money. Mm. And he said, so immediately he gets the money, he's like, where am I going to put this money? Mm. It's investments you're not evaluated. I'm like, what's the next gold mine? Yes. And then 2 years, 3 years down the line, all those investments are going into waste. Mm. And you didn't actually do that. And it starts with simple steps of separating your business and your personal finances. Have a bank account. Let clients pay there. Don't even take money from there unless you have documentation. Don't just say, I'm going to eat out with my friends. Let me swipe the card. Please have discipline. Yeah. If you're paying yourself 10,000, live with that. Within that means. Otherwise, you want to have 100,000, go spend all of it, and next month you don't have money to pay your staff and all these things. You know?
Okay. So, as the founder, how much should you pay yourself?
That's a conversation that is very much stable, but it also depends, how much you're generating. Do you have like a payroll structure, the level of which your business is at? Because when you're starting off, I think you only have enough to service the business, and you don't even have money to pay yourself. And sometimes you take the least, yet you're putting in more time. But you're like, remember, you're the one who owns the company. If you grow your valuation, it means you can always reap if you raise money and things like that. But at the end of the day, you put the business interest first. You come second. You're just like a normal employee in that business, because you could have actually started and hired someone to run it and pay them.
Okay, I love that. So that being said, let's talk to persistence and resilience in building a business. I love the way you're looking at me. These are deep questions, right? Deep questions. Let's talk about resilience, persistence, adaptability as a founder in putting your business together. Because the truth of the matter is, Mary, when all is said and done, the one thing that differentiates all other founders from the successful founders is the resilience, the persistence, keeping yourself in the game. It's when you lose all the money today and you find a way to get back up. And so let's get a little bit into that conversations. Let's talk about the burnout, how to get past the burnout. Because just today you're giving me an example of founder burnout that was mistaken for mental health issues. And so how do founders keep that resilience, that persistence without going crazy, for lack of a better word?
I think, first of all, sometimes it's an inner drive that keeps moving you, and it's something that you can't explain. You can't explain to me how maybe I'll lose all the revenues, all the clients, and I'm still up building tomorrow. It's because I believe in what I was actually building. And I was not just, the motivation was not the money or the client. There's something deep inside that is calling me to actually go and build this business. And something else, also please just surround yourself with good friends or people that will always, check in on you. Because sometimes when you build in isolation, trust me, I don't even know how you're going to make it. You just need to have people around you, not even many, 2 or 3, who, first of all, they have your back. They may not have the money, but they will always be there to emotionally support you, because if you're not feeling emotionally stable, there's no way you're going to build a business. And I've actually worked with founders who've lost everything, but they had such loyal teams that they stayed with them through thick and thin, like 3 months with no salary, 4 months with no salary, and they're still believing these people can actually build a business. So how can we help them build? So it is also getting to, can people even trust you? How do you also treat people? Your emotional intelligence and all those things. So if you're rude to people, remember, your payback is coming. When you don't have anything, that's when you realize how much people treasure you, how much people actually believe in you as a person. And when you see, like, people actually believing in me, there's something that does to you, like, I'm going to build it and I'm going to make it. There's
always, and let me talk to the concept of validation as humans. There's something about me telling you, Mary, you can do it. Mary, you're great. You're the greatest human. And so to this concept of validation, how do you differentiate constructive criticism to just people who want to put you down? Because in today's world, even people, founders, people in their careers, they're very skeptical because you're not sure who truly wants the best for you and who is out to get you. And so in all this, how do you differentiate between this is my true circle? Like Warren Buffett, when he was starting out, he had this one friend. Whenever he had an idea, alikuanga anamwambia, oh no, that one can't be done, this one can't actualize. And then at the end of the day, when he starts something, he's like, plug me in. And so how do you differentiate the friends that really want truly what is best for you from friends, or rather all this other outside noise that is all trying to put you down?
I think time is a reveal of so many things. And friends who are there just because of specific reasons, trust me, they will just fall out. Your vision will not align. Sometimes you'll just start becoming unavailable for their drinks, coffees, or meetups. And then you look at who's going to stay with me through all these seasons when I'm building and becoming. I don't even understand. It's a mess in between. So the people who survive with you through that period are the ones who genuinely, they care. You're a normal human being and I just care about you. I don't want anything, but I'm here. I'm cheering you from the sides. I may not have anything to offer, but I just know that you have a strong support system. So I'm like, give everything time. And sometimes you find the people that keep on cheering you. It's not like someone you met today and they're there cheering you. It is over time that they've grown to like you. They're like, I think I genuinely care about this person. So 6 months, 1 year, like they just check on you, how you doing?
Yeah.
They offer to meet you, just random things, but over time, they become your go-to person. And then they know you, so they will not even sugarcoat. Because me, I don't like people who just come and tell me nice things as for the sake of telling me.
Yeah.
Tell me as is, I'll pick up the pieces and I'm going to start all over again. So also differentiating who's just there massaging my ego and not telling me as it is.
Yes, as it is. That's the same thing I tell my friends. I'm like, guys, if we didn't maybe put out good content today, you'd rather tell me before someone else on social media does it for you.
Exactly.
You'd rather give it to me as it is. Tell me this is what you could do better. Yeah. So one final concept when it comes to business. Again, today I'm giving a lot of shout outs to Just Ivy. I think I've been interacting with a lot of her content. It's about mentorship in business, especially for startup founders or anyone who's starting out a business. How do you go about mentorship? Because one of the greatest tools that you can have in your kit is great mentorship. Someone who can tell you, this is what you need to do. These are not the boxes to tick. And so how do you go about this mentorship in business? Because again, just Ivy was saying, if you ever get capital that comes with advice, that comes with mentorship, take it, run for it, because it's going to come a long way in executing your vision and strategies.
So I think in my second last episode that I actually produced with Chris and Anu, he really talked about this.
Yeah.
And your network is your net worth. You just need to go and put yourself out there. If you don't ask for it, it will never be given to you. And actually something that I picked is, you see all these senior corporates that we currently have, the KPMGs, the McKinseys, they all have something they call office hours. Office hours is where they open for anyone to come interact with them and ask them questions.
Yeah.
But how many people take advantage of such things?
Oh, wow.
We
I
don't.
also didn't know about this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you go on LinkedIn and just try to search or just talk to someone who's in a senior level position, most of the time they have 15 minutes or 30-minute calendar slots where you can go and ask anything.
Yeah.
People are opening so much of their time to what they call, what did they say?
Giving back to
giving back to
the community.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I think it's all out there. We are the ones who are not even actually looking out for it. And then also you just need to look for people in your specific niche, in people who've done what you're trying to do and they've become actually successful, and check if they have office hours.
Yeah.
And if you just, and sometimes don't just go to someone and be like, oh, can you mentor me? Can you do this? First of all, who are you and what are you building? And why should I be mentoring you? You need to give me a reason why I need to mentor you.
Yeah.
I've received a lot of DMs. So I see you're doing a lot of good things. Can you become my mentor? I'm like, no, why?
Yeah.
Give me a reason to mentor you.
Yeah.
Don't just come. It's like you're looking for a job, you want me to... It's like it's disguised in a way. I don't even understand you.
It becomes a transactional relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people don't like transactions. I'd rather help a friend. Actually, you find me giving a lot of advice to people I meet in church or events for free. And they're not even asking me. They've just asked me a question. I'm like, let me tell you. Go this, do this, call this person. But if you just come to my DM and like, can you do this? I'm like, I don't know you. I don't know your history. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know. Or you're coming and saying, can I pick your brain over what? Go listen to podcasts, YouTube videos and all those things. There are a lot of brains to pick from there.
Yeah.
But then you really want to build value, invest in relationships.
Yeah.
Like, you can never go wrong.
I love that you said that, because my mentor tells me, for you to get a great mentor, you need to build a relationship with them. You need to understand them as a person.
Exactly.
Sometimes even going as deep as understanding them personally, knowing their dislikes, knowing their likes, understanding what it is that they stand for, their values, and that is the true innate way for you to get the most value out of this person, because it's not about a one conversation where we sit down like this and Mary, you pour all your knowledge on me.
I'll just be like,
it's about those small nuggets, like when we meet up for lunch and you're like, hey, by the way, if you do this, your content would really improve. If you tap into this segment, then you'll start making money sooner. If you go out and let's say if you start doing street interviews, it's going to become better for you. It's all about those small nuggets that you get by building personal connections with people.
I cannot overemphasize, because today morning I was speaking with my friend. I think I've known them for 10, 15 years when I was still in college. They were running a multinational as their CEO and things like that.
Yeah.
And over time, we'll check in once or twice in a year and things like that.
Yeah.
And today they were like, Mary, I will not even fear talking to people about you because I've seen your journey. I know who you are. Because we've kept that relationship going.
Yes.
And this is the time now it's starting to become transactional, 11, 12 years, 15 years after
Later.
building it.
Yes.
And it's not transactions of $1,
Yes.
of dollars, millions of dollars. So please invest in relationships. You're going to reap and reap big time.
So Mary, final question for the day right before we wrap up. What is the one unique lesson that you've gotten from your journey as a fractional CFO, as a podcaster, as someone who's worked in corporate? What is the one unique lesson that you can share with our audience today?
Your network is your net worth. I've had people mention my name in rooms that I was not in, or I've had people just refer me to opportunities I didn't even think I deserve. So if you create those relationships, they are going to become your solid goal to becoming a multimillionaire or a millionaire. Yeah. So invest in relationship and genuinely just care about people.
Yeah.
Don't just go in there because Mary is going to give me a deal of $100,000, or Mary because has a VC network, they're going to refer me to them.
Yeah.
Come in it just as a person. I want you to see the human element of you.
Yeah.
The business is secondary. So once I know who you are, the values you stand for, and if you're just a really good person, just rest assured the rest are going to follow. So just invest in relationships, and your network.
Yeah. No, I love that you said that, because in my corporate career, when I think about it, there is always one person who is always mentioning my name in bigger spaces, in spaces that I would never get to. And always, whenever they're seated with their fellow big, LT teams, he's always like, Melvin this, Melvin that, Melvin the other thing. And so I love what you said as a final touch to the episode. Your network is your net worth, and allow me to close it at that.
Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure being here, and we're looking forward to more episodes too. Sharing more nuggets of what I'm learning as an entrepreneur in this journey.
Yes, I love it. We have so much more to collaborate on. We've not even touched on funding.
We've not even scratched the subject.
Yes, this was just a sneak peek before we get into the real stuff. Yes. So thank you so much for today.
Thank you for having me.
We're super grateful. Thank you for sharing your time and insights with our audience.
Most welcome.
All right, guys, it's a wrap for the day. Remember, your network is your net worth. Thank you.